The tournament became larger, but its benefits and burdens did not expand evenly. The headline financial number was $8.911 billion. That was FIFA's budgeted revenue for 2026, not profit and not a final actual. The importance of the number is the revenue architecture it reveals, so it remains the correct lens even after the tournament ends. Within that budget, almost $3.9 billion was expected from television rights. More than $3 billion was budgeted from tickets and hospitality. And close to $1.8 billion was expected from marketing rights. These figures reveal what FIFA actually sells. It does not mainly monetize the match itself. It monetizes control of access to the match. Broadcasters pay for the right to place it on screens. Sponsors pay for proximity to its attention. Hospitality customers pay for premium access to venues and relationships. Supporters pay to experience it in person. And digital platforms benefit every time the match becomes a clip, reaction, argument, or replay. The football creates the emotion. Control of access converts that emotion into revenue. So who owns the upside? The organization that controls the global rights occupies the strongest position in the system. Now consider one seat. At the beginning of the tournament, the illustrative midpoint of the published ticket range for a normal non-host group match was around $340. By the semi-finals, the midpoint was close to $1,900. For the final, the original published midpoint was around $4,400. But the secondary market went much further. In the final week, SeatGeek's 7-day average final sale price exceeded $11,000, while average active listings moved above $18,000. A small number of listings on FIFA's platform were reported at around $32,000. These were dated market snapshots, not a final completed market average. At the same time, FIFA introduced a $60 supporter entry tier, including for the final, after criticism over affordability. That is an extraordinary range. The same tournament could offer a $60 access tier, while producing a secondary market where one final ticket cost more than many households earn in months. FIFA described its model as variable pricing. Reuters characterized the live, demand-responsive process as dynamic pricing. The terminology differs, but the underlying mechanism is clear. Scarcity and demand changed what access was worth. The ticket was no longer only an admission product. It had become a scarcity-priced asset. Premium sellers and resellers gained pricing power. Supporters carried the access cost. And the third-place match provided an important reminder. When demand softened, prices were cut. The exact final market price could change by the hour. The stable lesson is that scarcity creates value only while enough buyers still want what is scarce. The next number is 20 billion video views, reached before the quarterfinals. That does not mean 20 billion people watched complete matches. It means the World Cup was broken into goals, celebrations, referee decisions, player reactions, creator clips, memes, highlights, and arguments, then distributed repeatedly across platforms. The tournament was sold into more than 220 broadcast territories. Its International Broadcast Center also produced thousands of hours of additional non-live material. And beneath those views sat something even more valuable: identities. During the tournament, FIFA added millions of new registrations, distributed physical and digital fan IDs, grew social audiences, and brought more users into its apps and rewards ecosystem. This is strategically important. The traditional World Cup was a 4-year broadcast event. The emerging World Cup is an always-on customer platform. The match produces the original moment. Broadcasters, platforms, creators, and sponsors extend its commercial life. And FIFA gains direct relationships with supporters that can continue after the stadium's empty. The tournament did not only capture attention, it captured data, identity, and the possibility of future transactions. The final was staged at New York, New Jersey Stadium. whose confirmed World Cup capacity was 80,663. That represented a potential in-stadium audience of just over 80,000 before the global broadcast audience was counted. FIFA projected that the final itself could draw more than 1 billion viewers worldwide. The contrast shows how one match can exist simultaneously as a physical event for tens of thousands and a media event for an audience measured in hundreds of millions or more. At halftime, the tournament crossed another line. For the first time in World Cup history, the final included a dedicated halftime entertainment show. The performance was designed to last 11 minutes, bringing together global artists including Madonna, Shakira, BTS, Justin Bieber, Burna Boy, Gustavo Dudamel, and the PS22 chorus. But the more important numbers sat behind the performance. FIFA and Global Citizen said the show was being built for a potential worldwide audience of up to 2 billion people. It also supported the FIFA Global Citizen Education Fund, which was targeting $100 million. More than $50 million had already been raised before the final, including $1 from every World Cup ticket sold. Operationally, the spectacle was not simple. Broadcasting sources said the stage could require around 7 minutes to install and roughly the same time to dismantle and clear, extending the normal halftime interval. So, halftime was no longer merely a pause between two halves. It became a global entertainment product, a fundraising platform, and a new block of premium attention inserted directly into football's biggest match. Artists and social programs gained global reach. Production crews and technical teams kept the spectacle running. Players had to absorb a longer interruption. And FIFA gained another way to extend the commercial and cultural value of the final beyond the football itself. The match still created the emotion, but now even the interval had become part of the platform. The modern World Cup also depends on infrastructure most supporters never see. By the end of the round of 16, approximately 13 petabytes of data had moved across tournament and broadcast networks. That is around 13 million gigabytes. The event used roughly 161,000 kilometers of fiber, enough to circle the Earth about 4 times. Private 5G operated across all 16 stadiums. Thousands of video endpoints distributed content across venues and operating sites. Every one of the 1,248 participating players was digitally scanned. The connected ball measured movement approximately 500 times per second. 16 cameras tracked 29 data points on each player 50 times every second. This meant that contact, position, and movement could be converted into data almost instantly. The stadium was no longer simply a place where football happened. It was simultaneously a television studio, data center, communications network, security operation, and entertainment venue. The visible stars were on the pitch, but network engineers, technicians, camera operators, data teams, and infrastructure providers kept the global product alive. This brings us back to the second question. Who keeps the tournament running? Often, it is the people the audience never sees. More than 1 billion cyber threats or attacks were reportedly blocked during the tournament period. That does not mean 1 billion highly sophisticated hackers personally targeted the World Cup. The number includes automated probes, malicious traffic, attempted fraud, fake domains, and other hostile digital activity. But the scale still matters. Ticketing systems, payment platforms, broadcast feeds, fan identities, official apps, and venue networks all created potential attack surfaces. A major digital failure could interrupt access, compromise customer information, or damage the commercial value of the event. So, the World Cup was also a temporary global cybersecurity operation. The players protected the score. Cybersecurity teams protected the system around it. Technology created new capability. It also created a much larger surface that had to be defended.